You do not have to live with the cannabis laws in your village or your city. You don't have to. People in 40 different states, they don't have to. And if they reach out to me, they're not going to, because I'm going to decriminalize marijuana in their town.
It's time to consider cannabis. I'm your host, Curtis. In a few days, we will have our midterm elections. Americans from all over are sending in absentee ballots, early voting, and some, like me, are waiting for November 6th. Now, elections can be a contentious time for those who are absorbed in politics, but I don't care what party you align yourself with, because the time has come for cannabis law reform. This is and should be a nonpartisan issue. Cannabis has medical value. Cannabis is not habit forming. Cannabis laws today are a relic and are evidence of the institutional racism that still exists in our society today. Cannabis can literally save the lives of opiate addicts and help free them from their addiction by easing the withdrawal symptoms. And in the November 6th election, you can affect cannabis law reform. 6 cities in the state of Ohio have marijuana decriminalization on their ballot. Dayton, Fremont, Garrettsville, Norwood, Oregon, and Windham are all set to follow Toledo, Ohio, by enacting cannabis decriminalization. Are you jealous? Do you wish you lived in one of these cities? Or better yet, wouldn't you like to see cannabis decriminalization come to your hometown? What if there was an opportunity for that to happen? What would you be willing to do to support such an effort? Can you even imagine yourself being the person that affected that kind of change in your town? Now, if you're like me, you probably don't even know where to begin with such a feat. But our guest today wants to empower you and help you bring that kind of change to your town. Sound too good to be true? I assure you it's not. My guest today is the co-owner of Peace Pipes in Bel Air, Ohio, and a man who is a true Cannactivist. Let's sit down with Bill Schmitt Jr. and consider cannabis together. All right, Bill, thank you so much for joining me. Tell me, when did you begin a relationship with cannabis?
Actually, the first time that I used cannabis was with my friends in an alley, probably about when I was 15 years old. I really tried it one time, and I didn't really like it at that point until a little bit later in high school.
Okay, so you used it more recreationally in high school. When did you start using it medicinally?
Well, I always use it recreationally until I got into a car wreck about 9 years ago. I got into a 3-car collision that ended up totaling all 3 vehicles. The 17-year-old at fault had to get cut out of his vehicle and life flighted. So it was a pretty bad wreck, and I sustained neck and back injuries. I really quit using 2 years after that because I was going through a custody battle with my children, trying to get my daughter. And then once I quit, for just to have another bullet in my gun for court, even though, they can't really just make you take a test. You could submit it willingly, which I just wanted to do as well, just to have another, like I said, another bullet in my gun to be able to be there for my child.
When you were using it in high school, was this more just recreational party kind of usage?
Yeah, like I said, I tried it once when I was 15, and then about my senior year, because I was pretty focused in school. I wasn't really hanging around a bad crowd at that time, even though I was kind of going through some things in my life. Pretty rough life. I haven't been diagnosed PTSD, but there's multiple situations in my life that, would clearly state that I do have some issues with that, as well as like pain and everything. So I couldn't sleep. I couldn't really eat. My mobility was really bad because, like I said, it was my back and my neck that got injured, and I refused surgery. I'm too young for neck surgery, especially a 50-50 surgery, when I could manage my pain a little bit and just kind of not be the athlete that I was, prior. Now I can use cannabis and it helps me.
How did your family feel about your cannabis usage?
Well, that's been pretty tough. My kids, my nephews, and everybody my age and younger completely supports me in everything that I do in this endeavor. But the family that is left on my side don't really support it. I even had gotten the decriminalization initiative here in Bel Air, Ohio on the ballot, and my father even voted against it. So
Wow.
we have had some turmoil because of that. And I lost my mom like 8 years ago. My dad's all I got, and I don't really want to have problems with him over that. And unfortunately, we have. And the last two Thanksgivings, I haven't even went to Thanksgiving dinner with the rest of the family. So
Hmm.
it has affected it a little bit, but it should be my choice. And he supports decriminalization as well, just not 200 grams.
That's kind of funny, but
Yeah, because I was, the only person in Bel Air history to get a citizen initiative on the ballot, the only person in Belmont County history to get a citizen initiative on the ballot. I'm doing some very great things, not just smoking cannabis. I'm doing some pretty amazing things, and even political. So I'm trying to get younger people involved in the political game and voting for cannabis and trying to change their own marijuana laws. And we just can't seem to be eye to eye, and it's unfortunate.
that really is unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah. 81 years of prohibition has just taken a toll on a lot of people's minds, and there's just some people out there, no matter what you do, no matter what you say, that are just never turn that leaf and just never have that open mind to say, hey, this is a medicine. We're not using it just to get high or recreational.
Yeah, it's always disappointing when family can't seem to open their mind enough to even fathom the possibility that this plant is actually helping you manage your pain and complete daily life activities that they just take for granted because they don't live in chronic pain.
Hmm. Yeah, and my back and neck, I have issues every single morning when I get up. It's hard to get up and get motivated, and chronic pain, it's pretty much like a knife in the side of my neck all day long.
Mhm.
It's more annoying than anything. Yeah, it hurts, but it's just so constant, like you don't ever get a break. And
Yeah.
when it comes to cannabis, you could use cannabis, and it's not that it's like making the pain go away, but it's kind of taking your mind off of things, and just giving you that little bit of relief. That's all I really need. That's all I really want.
Yeah, you're telling me. I'm in the same boat with you. I've got bad lower back and I have a plate in my neck because I did actually have the surgery on 4, 5, and 6 in my neck. And it's just, the pain shooting down my arm and the numbness is gone, but I'm still hurting daily, constantly.
Yeah, and I get that pain and numbness down my left arm, my left shoulder. And I can do physical things, have sex, stuff like that, and have no problems. But certain little things, like the one day I just went to put my seatbelt on, I reached over, and I took it across my body, and man, I was down for like a month and a half. I don't know what I did, but I couldn't even get out of bed for a couple of days after that. It was just I pinched a nerve, and it just really about how you move. And I'm only supposed to have my work limit is 15 pounds, and I'm supposed to be light duty for the rest of my life because of this. So my biggest thing is managing the pain, not overexerting myself to where I'm using my body too much because I know I'm injured, and being able to use cannabis just to kind of take that edge off when I need to. Plus, it gives me an awesome range of mobility. When I wake up, it's so hard for me to even like look around. You have neck issues also, so I know you can probably relate with that. Because waking up in the morning and when it's cold, that's the worst, man.
Mhm.
Cold weather really, really affects me. During the summer, I can pretty much go about the summer with only having aches and pains, but like the winter
Mhm.
time is when I'm down for a few days, and sometimes I can't even get out of bed.
So, are you a patient? Did you get a medical recommendation, or are you not really playing this game?
Well, I would, but I didn't for a couple reasons. And, I would qualify for PTSD. I do have anxiety as well, chronic pain. I used to have seizures when I was a kid. So there's multiple ways that I could definitely be a patient. But I'm a marijuana activist as well as just a human rights activist, and my rights for a lot of different things. And in the state of Ohio, to get a medical marijuana card, you cannot have your CCW, and I would have to give up my CCW to get a medical license. And to me, that's just not, I can't even fathom in my brain making a choice between one or another, because they're both my human right. It's really hard for me to go down that avenue, even though I want to as a marijuana activist, because I want to go through the water for my patients so I can explain to them, hey, you need to do this, you need to do this step by step. And it kind of sucks for me because I can't engage in doing that because they want to make you have your choice between your CCW or your medical marijuana card. And for me, I'm going to hang on to my CCW until I change the laws in Ohio to be able to have both. That's my goal.
Do you have plans to accomplish that? Do you have steps in place, or?
Well, I mean, right now, no. Not specifically, no, but legalization is a progression in a lot of different forms when it comes to our weapons, our jobs, probation, or are they drug testing for marijuana? There is so many fights, not just legalizing or decriminalization. There's so much more to it that we have to expand in. And even though if we would go full legalization and have recreational stores nationwide, my fight is not over. There's still gonna be jobs discriminating. There's still gonna be states discriminating against other rights that we have as well.
So tell me, when did you get started in your Cannactivism?
Well, it started right when I quit smoking for my daughter when I was going to court. And I've always, I was born on 420. So I've always been a marijuana kind of, I've always been educated in that, and I always knew it helped with benefits and stuff, but I never really knew why. So, once I quit smoking for custody battle for my daughter, I started reading up on a lot of things, and how CBD works for nightmares, because I have extreme nightmares every night. If I don't smoke, I don't want to sleep. So I just started really reading up on why it helps with my pain, why it helps with my nightmares, and CBD was the key. Essentially, medical marijuana without the high. So I started Googling places. Where can I get this that's closest to me? And at the time, in early 2015, late 2014, the only place that was open in Ohio selling it was the Toledo Hemp Center, which is 4.5 hours away from my house. So on my day off, I ended up driving 4.5 hours up there. I need to try to find some relief. I have to try to do something. My quality of life is really down at the moment. I can't sleep. I can't eat. I got to do what I got to do for my daughter, so I'm not smoking, so that's not even an option. So I went up there and I ended up getting tincture, CBD tincture, the vape liquid, and I also got some topical as well, some topical cream. And before I left, the guy who was running the place, he was a board member for the Ohio Rights Group, and he had to petition to get medical marijuana on the ballot. And seeing that petition was what led me to all the work that I've done in Ohio. And I signed a petition and I told him, like, dude, I can get 100 signatures in a day. And he's like, yeah, right. Nobody does that. I was like, man, trust me, I can do this. And next thing you know, I've worked on every marijuana petition in the state of Ohio since then. And just decriminalization, the 6 cities that we've decriminalized marijuana in Ohio.
Wow.
So that was pretty much what led me to this, is me having to find relief in CBD. And then once I started taking it, I was blown away by how much it's helping me. I'm like, hold on, like, I'm not getting high, I'm not flunking drug tests, like, hold on, like, what is going on here? And then I became a absolute nerd when it comes to digging information. Why does cannabis work for this? Why does it work for that? What's the scientific breakdown? Why does it work chemically? And I'm like a scientific type nerd now when it comes to that stuff. But it really interested me, and it was something that completely opened my eyes. And I never really knew how much of a medicine it was until I quit using it recreationally But once I took that away and had nothing, it was completely unbearable. I couldn't do it. So it was like, do I start doing Oxycontin? Once I really found out about the medicinal value of CBD and cannabis as a whole, I have just been hell bent on educating people, because I was kind of blind to it too. Even though I was a supporter, I still really didn't understand, the value of medicinal cannabis and the cannabis plant.
So you're getting custody of your daughter or joint custody of your daughter. You're off of cannabis. You're reading about CBD, thinking about, should I go back to pharmaceuticals? Then that's when you tried the CBD and were really just sold on it.
I was so sold on it. I had to find out why this stuff works. And I've just done extensive research since then. And there's so many things that it helps your body for.
A lot of people have told me that CBD is great, but it's not as good as full spectrum. You need to get the entire cannabis plant and all
Yes.
the different cannabinoids into your system for the optimal health.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very much like you. I was on Prozac and lithium, and then I decided that I couldn't live like that.
Yeah.
And tried CBD for my anxiety and depression. And I was amazed. I could not believe how well I was able to feel. I mean, better than the pharmaceuticals ever made me feel.
Yeah. Yeah, that's for
So
sure.
that's when I started thinking about, well, what could this do for my back and my neck?
Yeah.
Because, I want to get up and play with my kids, but right now I'm laid out on the floor by the end of the day when they want to run around some more.
And that's the
Just
thing.
can't do
And
it.
and you have that valid excuse to where you could be like, oh, I'm not getting up today, or oh, I can do this perk 30, or oh, I can do this lithium, or whatever you may be taking. You have that excuse, and a very valid excuse to lean back on that. Just like I kind of did. I had a very great excuse to go to try to use Vicodin. But if I wasn't as educated on a situation, I would have started using them. And that's what is happening across the nation right now. Not everybody is understanding the medicinal value of cannabis, and they're just relying on what the doctor is giving you versus doing your own research and finding out what really works, for a lot of people, and not just somebody who's making billions of dollars off of it, because they're going to tell you what they want you to know.
What's next for you right now? What do you got cooking?
Well, we actually have 6 cities on the ballot to decriminalize marijuana here in Ohio for November. In Garrettsville, we also have Fremont, Oregon, and Norwood on the ballot as well. I'm thinking 5 of 6 will pass. We're hoping for a clean sweep, but I think 5 of 6 will pass pretty easily. Oregon's and Fremont's up there kind of by Toledo. Toledo was the first city to do this in 2015. Norwood got denied. We had to do that petition run a couple times. So they've been getting educated on this for years. Garrettsville's really the only one I'm really kind of worried about. It's kind of a little bit conservative town. And the only reason why I even went back to do that is because last year I had a possession of marijuana there. And I'm that guy that, you're not going to kick sand on me when you was a kid and think I'm not going to get you back, So they gave me a possession of marijuana, and me being the guy I am, I was like, man, they really targeted me going into Nelson Ledges, which was where I was going, which is a music festival place right around in there. And I was 9 minutes from my destination after driving 2 hours. And, they targeted me with the weed shirt on, saying I'm going to the Ledges. Of course, they didn't smell cannabis in the car. Everything was sealed up. They had to have a dog to come do that. But that was really the only reason why I even went to Garrettsville in the first place, was on spite, because I wanted to be the last person to get harassed and lose their license for 6 months. And I had to not drive for 6 months this last winter. So I kind of wanted to get back at them. So that's what I did. And while we was doing Garrettsville, the mayor of Windham, Debbie Blewett, 65-year-old lovely lady, extremely progressive woman, came over to us and asked us if we would decriminalize her hometown of Windham and the town that she's a mayor of. So we ended up doing Garrettsville and Windham pretty much. Windham just kind of happened out of Garrettsville. But we also are working on at least 12 to 15 other cities in Ohio right now that we've got going on. We have actively started campaigns in Wheeling, West Virginia. I'm heading the Wheeling, West Virginia campaign, and Chad Thompson is heading the Clarksburg campaign. since we've been so successful in the state of Ohio. And we can do this in 40 states. As long as you have a citizen initiative process and home rule in your constitution, we can do this. And we need to spread this information to all 40 states that they can change their local laws, pretty efficiently. A village in Ohio, say Garrettsville and Windham, I got both of them on a ballot one day. One Sunday, Garrettsville on the ballot. One Sunday, Windham on the ballot. So it's very cost effective to give the people an opportunity just to vote on this. Now, I could just let these go to the ballot and they would probably win, but we need to campaign. We need to have yard signs, door hangers. We need to educate the community, let the cannabis community know that we're out there and that this is on the ballot, because if they know, they're definitely going to vote for it. So many polls even just came out the last couple of days. 2 big polls came out, 62, 63% of Americans supporting full legalization. And I've been saying that for a while because I'm a petitioner. Nobody in the state of Ohio has collected more signatures or worked on more marijuana campaigns than me. I've worked on every single one. So I know what it's like. And I've been telling people 63 to 68% is where we lie. And then all of a sudden, all these things come out 62, 63%. I'm just like, you guys, I've been saying this for the last year, but I go to different towns, Toledo, Roseville, Bel Air, Newark, Athens. We did all these places already, and the 6 cities that's on the ballot. So I go to all these little towns. It don't matter if it's a little town, if it's a big town, if it's a country town, a rural town, it makes no difference. 63% of people are going to support what I'm doing and embrace me with arms. And they do. When I go into towns, I don't get negative feedback. I get positive feedback. These people want to give me a drink. They want to smoke with me. They're like, oh, dude, thanks for doing this. Thanks for doing so. And I'm like, no, I need to stay on my game right now. Like, I'm working. I'll be back afterwards. But, we definitely get a lot of support coming around. And if people would really come out about their cannabis use, they're not a minority. Like, you don't really have to hide it. I make every conversation about cannabis.
Unfortunately, the audio here became unintelligible. But Bill goes on to tell the story about how he was working in his head shop in Bel Air, Ohio, Peace Pipes, when a woman came running into the store because her dog was having a seizure. The woman was very frantic and couldn't even believe that she was in a head shop looking for CBD, but she had heard CBD works for seizures and she was very concerned about her little baby pup. So Bill calmly helps the lady, gives her a gummy, tells her to feed the dog just a quarter of it because it was a little dog, and within a few minutes the dog was better. He was up running around, eating, playing, and this lady was truly amazed. And the next day she came back to get more CBD, because now she was a true believer, and she wanted to give it to her mom, who also needed help.
It takes certain situations like that for people to really open their eyes that it's a medicine. With this lady, it was the dog wasn't smoking weed. He wasn't smoking blunts, doing dabs. The dog's not getting high, partying out, The dog used it as medicine. That's all it took. Next thing you know, an open mind happened. With that open mind, she started educating herself. And that's all it took. And, unfortunately, some people need that heart-wrenching opportunity, like, God forbid, like somebody in your family getting cancer and you watch them not be able to eat. And then they smoke and you see them eating, acting like a completely new person. That changes eyes. Having patients speak about their issues and their problems and put this into reality for people. We're not out here just using cannabis. People could look at me and be like, oh, he's kind of in good shape. You know what I mean? He's kind of clean cut guy, He's just using marijuana just to use marijuana. Well, let me show you my MRIs. Let me show you some of the things that I've been through in life, and stitches and fractured bones and stuff that I've had. And yeah, you tell me that you think I'm just using it for fun. I don't smoke to get high. I smoke to maintain maximum health for myself, to be able to deal with all the daily duties that I have to do as a man, as a father, as a worker, to provide for my family.
It'd be really nice if we didn't have to live with those stigmas.
Um,
I think my daughter's generation might not have to. She understands it as medicine and just as medicine. That's all she knows it as. And I mean, I don't vape around her or anything, but she smelled it on me and she's like, "What is that? That stinks." I was like, "That's daddy's medicine." Like,
yeah. Yeah, yeah, and my kids understand that too, and they understand that it's used as a medicine, and they know it helps me. They've seen me in pain. They've seen me not able to get out of bed. They've had to help me during them hard times. So, if I could use something that's safe, that's not having me addicted like all these other pills out here, and in Bel Air, Ohio, we have a horrible, horrible pill and heroin epidemic. It's just absolutely insane. And people need to know about cannabis being an option because, say, in Ohio right now, medical marijuana program is supposed to be getting up. But just right now in Ohio, if there's only one way you can get cannabis in any form, and it's Marinol. They would prescribe you Marinol. But the only way they give that to you, it's like last resort. You're about to die, bro, if you get that shit. And my ex-girlfriend's boss, younger guy, 29 or something like that, he was pretty young, had cancer. And she was saying he's going through all this chemo and all this. And then she was like, oh, yeah. And she was like happy, like, oh, hey, hey, they gave him Marinol, this. I was just like, oh, God, no. Like, I know that dude doesn't have, it was 2 months later, he was gone. We need to have an option, something safe, something non-toxic to be able to use that's first, to try before we get everybody hooked on these opiates. And why there's a production in states that have changed their marijuana laws. We could save 1 out of 4 Ohioans just if we changed just the marijuana laws. That is a staggering, staggering number.
you said 25%
Yeah,
reduction,
we could, because
but you didn't say of what? A reduction of what?
opiate-related deaths in states that have changed their marijuana laws. That's incredible
Yeah.
because people that do get it can use cannabis, to come down from opiate withdrawals and heroin withdrawals.
So you said you worked and are co-owner at Peace Pipes.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Do you work for any other cannabis nonprofit that's working towards legalization or decriminalization, or are you a lone wolf out there?
Well, man, a lot of the stuff. I mean, I have been through multiple groups left and right, man, and I'm really like pretty much a lone wolf. And this movement has kind of been that in a sense because it's kind of an open source movement when it comes to the decriminalization. Ohio Normal shut down. I don't know, probably about 8 months ago because there was a lot of infighting. There was just everybody that really did anything, that did any work, was gone, and the only people that was there, they just wanted to fight. So technically at this very moment there is no nonprofit, but we are in the process right now of creating one, and we have got our board situated, and actually in the next few days or a week we will have the paperwork filed for a new nonprofit that we are trying to utilize now to help these decrims and help our movement nationally, because this isn't just something in Ohio. This is something national that people in 40 different states can do. And when I got Garrettsville and Windham on the ballot, like I said, I collected the signatures. And Portage County Board of Elections kept them off the ballot. They said, you know what, we just don't think that this is something that we should vote on. And I had to take them to federal court. So I took them to federal court. I sued the Secretary of State, Husted, and the Portage County Board of Elections for abusing their power and violating my First and 14th Amendments right to review as a petitioner. So we ended up winning. We ended up getting the federal court judge, and now we have a federal court case that not just people can use for decriminalization, that anybody in 40 states of America, say you're trying to get fracking or golf carts or clean water initiative on a local ballot, you can use our federal court case, Schmitt versus Husted, to get your stuff back on the ballot, to try to use it as case law for anything relating to the Board of Elections abusing their power when it comes to the citizen initiative process and making a ballot. So, now that we have a federal court case that we could all embark on, that we know that this is successful and it works all the way up to the federal level. We know what we are doing is official. That's why we want to really open up this new nonprofit, which is the Sensible Movement Coalition. The greatest activists all across the state, excluding all the troublemakers, because we have so many of them in Ohio activism, which is absolutely unfortunate because we have some amazing talent in this state, but can everybody get together? And right now, nobody really has a nonprofit to kind of work with. In 2016 and 2015, when we made the ballots for all these decrems, we used Normal as a nonprofit to be able to raise funds to support our PACs. Now we have no way to do that. We can only have limited funds through your PACs. You can only have $100 cash donated. There's so many different things that you can't do. I can't sell shirts out of a nonprofit. So fundraising is almost impossible, just like through a PAC or a ballot committee, which is what the ballot issue committee is what I started to, which is the primary bank account for Garrettsville and Windham. And that's the Sensible Movement Committee. So all the yard signs and everything that you see paid for by the Sensible Movement Committee. And that's my ballot action committee that I have, trying to help raise funds and use, as a tool to buy things and get things for the campaign, yard signs, door hangers, things like that.
So is this your plan of action, is to take one town at a time in each state and have it spread to other states so that one town at a time can be decriminalized? Is that
pretty much? Yeah. We have to find something that's kind of viable for the people.
Mm-hmm.
And I work for Responsible Ohio as a manager for Responsible Ohio, the only legalization amendment that ever made the ballot in Ohio history. And so I kind of know what it takes to make the ballot, but doing that, it took $26 million to make the ballot, and we only got 36% of the vote. So to do a statewide initiative, we are talking millions of dollars. Now, when we did Toledo, fourth largest city in Ohio, $7,000 to pass. We passed multiple other ones. So we probably maybe have $15,000 to $17,000 total, decriminalizing 6 towns, protecting over 1 million people. So cost effective, time effective. We can get a village on the ballot in 1 day for no money. Like literally the cost it takes the paper and the volunteers to do it. It's a little bit harder to do it on a state level. So doing it at the local level and showing them. When I tell people that we made the ballot in 7 cities and passed 6, they are blown away. Because we're going to random towns. Oh, you gave me a possession of marijuana? Psh, I'm coming to your town. Roseville, I did Roseville. My buddy had stage 4 cancer. I didn't want him to get in trouble with his stuff because he didn't care. He was growing it. He's smoking it. I got cancer. I'm dying. I don't give a shit what you say. But I didn't want him to get in trouble. So I decriminalized the marijuana in Roseville, little town, half hour south of Zanesville. You'd never even think about it. Yes, them people support marijuana. It doesn't matter where you're at. So we're showing people that there is pockets of full legalization support all over the place. So, when the next full legalization group comes in, they're going to see all these spots. They're going to be like, wow, these counties are stronger. These counties are not because of these little decrems. And we need to take step by step. That's why I said even once we fully legalize marijuana, this work isn't done. Until they let us have all my rights as a human being under this plan and be able to medicate as a human for my family and be able to take care of what I need to and still have my rights and have, my CCW and my medical license. Like that's my goal. And like some people say that I might never reach that goal, but you know what? Everybody told me that we wouldn't do all that we did already. And nobody believed us in 2015 when we did this. Nobody in history has done it before. Nobody's done it. Yeah, right. They won by 70% landslide. Toledo people, y'all rock. And once we started doing this all over the place, it's very clear what the people want. And doing these decrems all over the place at the local level, we're doing it cost effective. We're protecting people, and we're making progress. I mean, even though I'm a part owner at a head shop that we just opened, like I live in the projects of Bel Air, Ohio. Like I am like the most average guy with no money. Where are these people that are in better positions than me making all this noise? That's what I want to know. And famous people, athletes, using their money, their power, to help change minds. It's crazy. I'm just this little dude in the projects of Bel Air, and I'm making all this noise. Broke. I'll spend my own dime for anybody. Like, this is what I do. I was born on 420. Like, I feel that the universe has made me into this situation. When I got Bel Air on the ballot, I wasn't nervous. It was like I did this before. All this stuff is like I did it before. It's just like I'm just going through the range of motions, and I'm not. I mean, my anxiety gets me when I do things like this and certain stuff, but like, I wasn't anxious on election day, and we passed Bel Air by only like 13 votes,
Wow.
by the skin of our teeth. So that's why my dad's vote against me kind of burned me a little.
Yeah.
It burned because it was really close, and if I'd have lost by a couple votes, whoo, ooh,
Hmm.
dude, yeah, it would have really been bad. So
I have a couple more questions for you, but I wanted your opinion on decriminalization on a national level. Is there anything that we can even do as citizens?
oh man, on a national level, I mean, not really. Besides, try to push.
Federal, I mean,
Well, yeah, and federal, national, So right now there is a full decriminalization bill that came out. I think like Rockenbacher or something like that came out with it. I'm not sure of his name, but helping try to educate people about the benefits of decriminalization, because people don't understand the differences between legalization. Decriminalization just takes away the penalty. It creates equality. In Ohio, it's 8-1. In some places, 13-1 as far as racial disparity of people getting arrested for marijuana possessions. Just because it's your cousin, or you might know them, or they're white or black, you can't let them off for certain other reasons. Everybody that gets caught with cannabis should be treated equal. And that's something that nationally, on a national level, that would be huge, because it's going to treat everybody equal. And it's going to take away that gray area of where everybody can bitch and say, oh, well, you did this because of racism, or you did this because of something else. It takes that away, because we're all equal at this point. So something that's treated as a minor misdemeanor, that first time offense, I just pay it like a traffic ticket. I don't go to court. It's just a little smack on the hand. Nothing happens to you. Why is it stopping me from getting a job, stopping me from getting housing, stopping me from getting education? So the decriminalization in Ohio right now just isn't working, because it's keeping people in a same cycle. What am I supposed to do? I got this bad record. Even though I'm a nonviolent criminal, I've never did nothing violent in my life. We need decriminalization that is fair for everybody, and bringing the fine down to zero. That's what does it. We could have it $25 or something like that, but there still might be more minorities getting that $25 ticket. With it zero, nobody's getting anything. We are all being treated fair.
Do you feel like you've ever been singled out or known by law enforcement because of your work for cannabis reform?
Yes, yes. It definitely hasn't been as bad as I think, or that I thought it was going to be, but I think there's a pretty good reason for that. I'm kind of somebody that doesn't, let you push me around, and I'm going to come back at you. So if you think you're going to give me a marijuana possession, you got something coming. I'm not just going to lay down. I mean, I literally just took the Secretary of State and the Portage County Board of Elections to federal court. Do you think that these little local cops down here I'm gonna let them harass me? No. And I think they know that. I got a pro bono attorney to do this for free. If they want to mess with me, I got pro bono attorneys that'll do this for free if they want to try to challenge me on some stuff, because I'm gonna fight them tooth and nail. I'm not gonna like lay down like that. So I was lightweight targeted in Garrettsville. You see what happened there. I was kind of targeted, but once again, from the Portage County Board of Elections. So don't stoner, oh, we don't need this on the ballot. Got to check y'all guys. So if they think that they're going to like get me on some bullshit, or you're going to try to harass me, or think that you're going to have some search and seizure or something on me. No, man, I'm taking it to the box. Like we're going to make national news, bro. Let's do this. So they know that I'm like that. And I think that is the reason why that they really don't mess with me, because frankly, I smoke cannabis freely in my town all the time, even in public, even when I don't promote that use, but I do. Like I smoked weed in the State House when we was up there. 420 State House, we're burning, Try to arrest somebody for something like that, it's cool, man. We got our guns loaded. So I just don't really think that they want to mess with me. And they do target me on some stuff, but when it comes to like saying get pulled over in my hometown, like I decriminalize marijuana here. If they would try to give me a marijuana charge in my hometown under the law that I put in place, boy, they are fucking in for a war, bro. So, and they know that. They know that, and bullies, police are bullies when it comes to that stuff. They don't bully people that are going to fight back. They're going to go and bully people that they know that they can bully. And I'm not that person. So therefore, they're not really going to try to pull on none of that crap on me. And I think that's the reason why I haven't got as much flack as I probably should, because pretty much the most loud, boisterous guy in Ohio. Nobody does the bold ass shit that I do, and I do it for a reason. You have to kind of push that fold, and I will be the person to push the fold so everybody else can be safe.
Those who are listening to you and want to get involved with decrim movements or want to bring decriminalization to their ballots in their town, what can they do?
We can do this decriminalization at a local level in 40 states. So people all over the place in every state that has the citizen initiative process should be reaching out to us right now. Like, listen, I am tired of these barbaric laws that these people that I'm putting in office are putting in place for me. I didn't know that I could change these laws myself. We have the tools to be able to educate you, to be able to do this yourself. My man, Chad Thompson, the writer of this initiative, the guy who started all this, I'm just the second man in charge. He is the guy that writes everything. He is the guy that has opened up this whole thing. I'm just like a passionate guy that can just kind of put it all in place. But, we want everybody to pick up on this, and we will write the initiative, the local initiative, for anybody in these 40 states that wants to decriminalize marijuana. And we could do it at a local level very reasonably easily.
Really quick, tell us how to get a hold of them. Reach out to you on Facebook. Like, how do we do it?
Okay, you guys find me on Facebook, Bill Schmitt Jr., SCHMITT. You can find Chad Thompson on Facebook as well. We are also the Sensible Movement Coalition. You can find us on Facebook. You can personally give me a call. I need anybody and everybody to be able to have access to this information. So if anybody would like to give me a call, please 740-298 0726. If you prefer email, you could find us at Sensible Movement Coalition, gmail.com. My personal email is 420kidd77 at gmail.com. And we really want people to be able to pick this up and to be able to run with it. Because if you live in a village and anywhere in the United States that can do this, we can get it on the ballot in one day. We are the sixth largest state, something like that, Ohio. We have to collect hundreds of thousands of more signatures than the next person. Say North Dakota, they turned in like 50,000 signatures. Dude, I could do that in a day by myself. I could get these states on the ballot by myself in a day, a whole statewide campaign, more or less just a local one. So if anybody wants to do local initiatives, like we could do this. I'll fly to freaking Minnesota to do it if we have to. Like if people want to pick this up, like we will literally come to your town, no matter where you are, to try to help educate you on this and try to get you on the right path to be able to decriminalize marijuana on the local level, using home rule and the Constitution to be able to do it.
That's great, Bill. I'm gonna reach out to you to talk about bringing decrim to Mason and Deerfield Township.
Dude, I got you.
I'm excited.
I got you. I can have the initiative written freaking tomorrow, man, and we can have this stuff getting started. And what are they, villages? Because we can do townships, villages, and cities. Just some townships we can't.
Oh, okay. Deerfield Township's a township, but the city of Mason.
Deerfield Township would be like 20 signatures. I would do it in a half hour. I would go hit 25 houses. That would be it. That'd be it. It'd be it. Mason it's a city, so it'll be a little bit more. Newark was about 1,000 valid signatures to turn in, and that's a pretty big city. So we turned in 2,200 or so. But that's kind of a big deal. Bel Air, Ohio, was like 74, 75. Roseville's 50. Garrettsville 54. Wyndham 37. You know what I mean? Like, dude, we can get this on the ballot. Like, we should just literally do like 100 villages in 100 days, and not even campaign, pay for anything, just to see how many of these 100 are passed with absolutely with nothing. You know what I mean? We could do it all very cost effectively, and we're going to do some pretty awesome stuff like that coming up this next summer. I don't know if we're going to do like a 30-day, 30-town run or a 100-day. We're going to do something crazy like that because we want to make a monster statement. I mean, we've already made High Times Magazine a couple times because of this. They made it in Toledo. We're not lawyers. You don't need to be nothing like that. You just need to be somebody who is willing to make progress happen. And that's it. We know we got the plan. Do you want to make it happen? That's all it takes. If you really want to change your law, do you want to be the local marijuana hero of your town? Like, dude, I am a hero in my hometown because of this. I made Terry Sanderson, my friend with cancer, before he passed away. I made him a hero in his hometown because of this. Like, you could literally be somebody by just kind of following your passion. Hey, I'm tired of getting penalized for marijuana. You can do it for yourself and everybody around you. We just really want to spread this information. So if anybody wants to try to do that, please do. And I'm looking forward to getting Deerfield and Mason out the way too, because we can do it, man. I'm telling you, anybody who wants to do this, you reach out to me, become my friend, and I'm telling you, we're going to do it. That's all that's going to happen. So
sounds like an adventure. I'm up for it.
Yeah, awesome. I can't wait to educate your community, man. And like I said, we'll help you get everything done up there, and I'll come up there and I'll help get this done myself. If 100 people across the nation say, hey, we need you to help, dude, I might be flying to multiple states to do this. And I don't care what it costs to do it. I'll use my own money. But that's another reason why we've got the Sensible Movement Coalition up, and we're getting that up because we're going to need a lot of funding to be able to do this and to be able to reach the people that we really believe that we could reach with this. Because if people knew about this, dude, they're going to want to do it. They'll be like, what? Hold on, I get my village on a ballot in one day, dude. Yeah, we did it multitude of times. And we're passing them left and right at 85%. Who doesn't want to get in on this? That's my question.
All right, Bill, thank you so much for taking the time.
You're welcome, man. I appreciate it, man. Any platform that I could use to help educate people, to try to give somebody that spark of motivation, to be that light at the end of the tunnel. At least with this, we have hope in ourselves because we could change it ourselves. If the people we elect into office are doing us dirty, dude, we could change it all ourselves. You do not have to live with the cannabis laws in your village or your city. You don't have to. People in 40 different states, they don't have to. And if they reach out to me, they're not going to, because I'm going to decriminalize marijuana in their town.
A lot of Americans are fed up with voting. They don't believe their vote counts, so they just don't show up. It's estimated that only 60% of the voting eligible population votes during presidential elections. And in years like this, in midterms, it's only about 40% of eligible voters actually show up. But if you care about cannabis law reform and you live in the city of Dayton, Garrettsville, Fremont, Oregon, Norwood, or Windham, it's time to show up. And if you're not sure where to go, head over to www.sos.state.oh.us/elections/voters/toolkit/polling-location and click on your county. No patient should have to go to jail for their medicine. So right now, we, the citizens of the United States, have an opportunity to send a message to the federal government that we believe cannabis should no longer be a reason for someone to be fined or incarcerated. So let's go vote. Consider Cannabis is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment recommendations. Always seek the advice of your physician or other qualified health provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. If you would like to be a guest and share how cannabis has helped your health and wellness, contact me at considercannabisnow.com or on the Consider Cannabis Facebook page. If you found anything of value in this episode, please share it with someone. Remember to subscribe for free and get every new episode delivered right to your phone. Join me next time and we'll consider cannabis together.